Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a really long time since I've been on here, and a lot of things have happened, which is why I haven't been uploading content. And just here to give you a quick life update, and at the same time, I want to share a new discovery for me. This is not a new product at all, but I will be talking about my favorite sunscreen and my hunt for the perfect sunscreen. But before we get into that, I kind of just wanted to give you a little update on what's been going on. First of all, for those of you who are new to my channel, this video, it's gonna be a little sad, it's gonna be a little happy. If that's not what you really want to see, go ahead and just, skip over this intro. But for those of you who have been following me, I just kind of wanted to explain where I've been. All of you who are new, welcome. I have gained a couple subscribers while I've been gone. I have no clue how that has happened because I haven't uploaded a video in probably 3 months, probably. The Tory Burch video that I uploaded right before this video, that was filmed right before all of this happened, and I never edited that video and uploaded it. So this year, what I mean by this year, I mean 2020, from July of 2020 to now, has been a really tragic time for my family. We have had a lot of loss. My uncle passed away of COVID in July of last year. We were all very close to him. He lived with my grandmother. That was her brother. So since my mother was an only child and my father was an only child, I didn't really have any real uncles or aunts. So my grandmother's brother was our uncle. He's just always been our uncle. We loved him very dearly, and he went into the hospital and he was doing great. We were getting progress updates from his doctor. He wasn't being treated by strangers. His actual treating doctor was the one who was treating him at the hospital. And the day before he passed, we got notice. I don't know why my face looks orange. The weather has been really bad, so it's really dark outside, and it's been like that every day for the past month and a half. So I do apologize. I do film in natural lighting, and I don't know why it's making my face orange. Maybe my shirt is reflecting onto my face. But anyway, we got noticed the day before that he was doing great and they were going to take him off of the ventilator. And then we get a call the next day that his kidneys froze and there was nothing that they can do, and that it was up to his sons to make the decision whether or not they were going to take him off life support. So that happens, and then in October, my grandmother passes, and then I had to take a really big break from that. I'm sorry, give me a second. In case you're wondering, it's a Starbucks tumbler. All right. there's gonna be a lot of edits. Okay, I'm sure you can hear the thunder. My grandmother passes, not COVID related, again, total surprise. She went in for a minor heart procedure, and she came out fine. And she was born with a rare blood disorder, which her doctor, again, not being treated by strangers, her doctor has known about for years. So before she's ever gone into surgery, which is nothing new, this procedure that was done was something that she's done before. The doctors know they have to prep her with platelets and all that kind of stuff before any kind of surgical procedure can be performed. And she came out fine. The procedure went great. And then 3 days after the procedure, she hemorrhaged. And because it was COVID, nobody was allowed to see her. So we weren't allowed to visit her while she was there. We talked to her every day. She had her cell phone. We would talk to her multiple times a day. My brother, my mom, and I. And she was in good spirits. And, you know, like I said, this wasn't anything new. She didn't contract COVID. She was tested about 45 times. And, you know, so it wasn't any kind of, you know, complication with that. But the COVID regulations were still there and we weren't allowed to visit her and be with her. So we just had to call. So when this happens, you know, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I really wish that I could just talk about this without, but we were so close and she was like my best friend. I could only aspire to be like half the woman that she was, you know? She faced so much adversity, you know, being an immigrant, coming here with nothing, you know, from a communist country and starting all over again with a small child, which was my mother. My mother was 9 when they came over, and she had her own business and she made it, and from nothing. So my grandfather was disabled at the time that she traveled to this country, so she was his sole caretaker, and she was a breadwinner. Miraculously, you know, he was able to recover and be a functional human being and, you know, help. But she's always been somebody I've admired. She was a very objective thinker, and she didn't have a filter when she spoke, which sometimes could be a good thing and sometimes could be a bad thing. She never really had a malicious intent behind the things that she would say. She just called it how she saw it. And if you're from a Latin culture, you understand what I'm saying. It's very much like that, where a lot of people may take offense to it, or you'll have guests over who are from a different culture and they'll be, did your grandma just call you fat? She said, yeah, but she didn't call me fat, like, you know, as being mean. She's just telling me, you gained a little weight. Let's watch what we eat. As she's offering you a mountain of food. Yeah, it's all part of the Latin culture. If you know what I'm talking about, leave your comment down below. But anyway, she passes. That was a really hard blow for my family, and we had just lost my uncle in July, so we were still in that mourning process. So when this happens, she was like the glue of our family. And our family is very small, because my mom is an only child, so there's only my brother and I. And it took me a really long time to bounce back from that. I went some time without uploading content, and I couldn't talk about it. Obviously, I still can't talk about it, but I find out, good news, I find out that I am pregnant, but I can't tell anybody because, you know, it's not safe to tell people until you are in the safe zone, which is like after you're out of the first trimester. But I had to take a trip to Miami in May. It was a weekend after Mother's Day, and I was actually, that Friday, the date I was having my first visit with my OBGYN, and I had my first ultrasound to confirm that the baby was there, the baby was healthy, all that jazz. And great news, we were super happy. But I had been really sick, so my first trimester was really bad. Which is the reason why I had to stop uploading content, because I was physically ill 24/7. The nausea was intense all day, every day. I was super behind at work because of that. I was emotionally and physically exhausted from the nausea, the dry heaving, all that. It was all day. No matter what I ate, no matter what I did, I was just very nauseous, and I couldn't take anything because it's not safe to take anything that's like not like natural medication during your first trimester. So you kind of have to just you know, go through it. The constipation, the things that nobody talks about. That was really bad for somebody who's so regular. That is enough to drive you crazy. I went 13 days without going to the bathroom, and I was on a lot of things. I tried Miralax, I tried Metamucil twice a day, you named it, I tried it. Stool softeners, I just couldn't go. But by the grace of God, I was able to go, but I was still very ill. So I make this trip, I surprise my mom and my mother-in-law and just everybody with the news. And this is kind of like the only good news we received in my family up until this point, which is great, and I am very happy. But then June, I receive a call, you know, from my mom that my stepdad had a massive heart attack, and they were rushing him to the hospital, and they, you know, his heart was very weak, so they couldn't actually go in to figure out what was wrong because his heart wouldn't sustain it because it was so weak. And he had sustained an additional 2 heart attacks before I got there, because I immediately hopped in the car and I drove over there to be with my mom. There was no flights from Orlando to Miami. The only one that was from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale, which would have been the closest, was very late at night, and I didn't have the luxury of time. We loved him very much. They were married for a very long time, and he was part of this family. That came as a huge shock. He wasn't complaining of chest pain. I'm sorry if you can hear the air coming on and off. He wasn't complaining of chest pain or anything like that. He just woke up one morning, he ate breakfast, and he told my mom that he wasn't feeling well, and that was it. So it was been a lot of loss from a lot of people who we were fine. My uncle was a very healthy man. He didn't have diabetes. He didn't have any pre-existing conditions. The only thing that man took was vitamins, okay? He used to go on fishing tournaments on the weekends, golf for 4 hours on Sundays. I mean, when I tell you this man was active and he would never believe his age. My grandmother was fine. You know, she took my uncle's death very hard. But again, it just came out of nowhere. And with my stepdad, it's the same. Now, obviously, although we're happy, I'm pregnant, I'm about to, you know, have this beautiful thing that's gonna come into the world. My due date is in December. You have this sadness, yet happiness at the same time. So it's hard to sit here when you're in the thick of it and talk about makeup like nothing's going on, because I think your body language gives it away. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I had a small intimate gender reveal with my family. We're having a girl, in case you guys for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram. We're super happy. But yes, that's where I've been, and that's why it's been a really long time since I've uploaded content, and it's gonna take me a little bit to get back into the groove of things. My desk is completely covered with stuff that I haven't been able to review or talk about because of the obvious. So now let's get into, you know, the sunscreen. I have Melia. We're gonna slowly transition here, and just bear with me. If you're still here, thank you. I've had a very long journey with sunscreen. I understand the importance of sunscreen. However, I have always had a very bad reaction to sunscreen on my face. I have Melia prone skin, and sunscreen is the #1 cause of my Melia breakouts. Not to mention the fact that I have oily to combination skin, and sunscreen is just so thick that it just feels horrible on my skin. It doesn't work well with my makeup throughout the day because I produce excessive oils and sunscreens are so thick. I've tried many that claim to be thin, that claim to be mattifying, that claim to be, you know, for sensitive skin. I've tried the Sunday Riley one, that new one that just launched, the Love one. I have tried Supergoop. I have tried Kula. I have tried gosh, what's that one? I can't remember the name of it now, but I have Bareminerals. I have tried many sunscreens, and I finally found the one for me. They've all made me break out. They all are thick. They're not translucent. You can still see them on the skin. And they don't play well with makeup because of the type of skin that I have, the skin type I have. So you guys know that Sophia is my SA at Chanel, and she had kindly, Sophia, if you're watching this, hi. She had kindly invited me to a skincare class that they were having. And she was like, would you like to be a part of it? And I was like, yeah, sure. It was virtual. And I attended the class. She sent me a box with the samples of the skincare products that would be discussed during that class. And it came with like this little booklet. And then with the products that would be talked about during that virtual class. And then you got like, you know, the little samples of the products. And because I was pregnant, I had a lot of questions. There's a lot of skincare that when you're pregnant, you're not allowed to use. Retinol, I had to stop using basically half the stuff I was using because it wasn't safe to use while you're pregnant. But during that class, they started to talk about sunscreen, and my struggle was, and I asked my question. I said, listen, I have milia prone skin, I have oily combination skin. Is your UV Essential Chanel Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Antioxidant Anti-Pollution Sunscreen Complete Protection good for my skin type? Is this gonna give me milia? Do you recommend it? And she, it was with Dr. Amy Weschler, was the one who was doing the virtual class, and she said absolutely. She's a dermatologist, and she actually helped Chanel create Solution 10, which is amazing. I own it. But she told me absolutely. She's like, that is one of the best sunscreens I've ever used. It goes on clear, it mattifies, and it is a very thin formula, but it won't cause you to have milia. And getting rid of milia is a process. So I'm not willing to explore on a lot of skincare products because of that. Getting rid of milia takes a while, and it's very annoying. So I ended up purchasing the Chanel sunscreen. This is the packaging. After that class, it was absolutely 100% the best sunscreen I have ever tried. Okay, my camera's not focusing because it's so dark outside that it has a hard time. There we go. Comes in this white plastic bottle. You shake it before you apply it. It has a smell to it. If you don't like fragrance, then this is not going to be for you. It does go on mattifying, and it does go on very clear. So I just want to show you the consistency on the back of my hands. It has this yellow tinge to it, and then you just rub it in. It's a very thin formula. Smells divine. It smells so good. The skin automatically soaks it up. It's not thick at all, and its dry down is a soft satin matte, and then you can't see anymore, and it smells so good. The SPF on this is 50, and this is what I've been wearing alone. I wear this alone with a little bit of mascara and some lipstick, and I'm ready to go. Or I'll wear it under makeup. It plays so well with other products. I totally recommend this. If you have a skin type that's similar to mine, you have to try the Chanel UV Essential sunscreen. It is amazing. You could purchase this on the Chanel website, Nordstrom. Pretty much most department stores sell their sunscreen. This one was actually gifted to me by a friend, and it was purchased through Nordstrom. So love this. And I've just been using it ever since. I will not use any other sunscreen. I'm done with my sunscreen journey. It has been long, and it has been agonizing. And honestly, if the only other alternative I can recommend that's a little bit more economical than the Chanel one is the Supergoop. Their original one smells very nice. It is a thin formula. The dry down is semi matte, but this has stood the test of time, especially with my skin tone and my skin type. With the Supergoop, eventually over time I did start to see some minor spots of milia start to form on my jawline and on my neck. So again, this is what I prefer, this is what I like, this is what has worked for me, and that pretty much completes this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave all of the makeup I'm wearing in the description box below, like I always do. I just remembered I forgot to tell you guys what the retail value of this product was. So let me check the box. You get 1 fluid ounce with this bottle, and that's the same amount as you know, their, I just dropped it, their Vita Aqua Lumiere foundation. It's also 1 ounce. It's the same exact packaging, same size, nothing has changed. So I'm just looking up the value price. It was $55. It is expensive, trust me, I know. I use very little because a little bit goes a long way. I love it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.